We got the media team in here. We're the media
team. We got content. TV's in the go. We got TV in the go, Wack.
You looking for that fire Clubhouse content? Well, you need to subscribe to the home. Hey, yo, Clubhouse TV. Let's get to the content.
That's a good one.
In the block.
I'm gonna be real. We do a lot of some favors. I'm gonna tell y'all why. It's a lot of people been running around for many years knowing they got that dirt on them and scared of what the outcome gonna be if people find out. So we figured out and we do the deed for you and expose you. And at least now they able to exhale and see, all right, few people not calling me no more, but shit, it's still cool. Few people not calling me no more, but it's still cool. So we doing favors. We let them know, look, bro, you can go outside. They ain't tripping like that no more. You know what I'm saying? It look like, I know it kicked some chatter off though. I know it did. This goddamn Supreme Truth. I think somebody might have sent me the link or where to find it. It's going crazy. I've been getting all kind of calls. The nigga that really told on Supreme, they sent me the clip, but they say they scared to talk about this. I guess because he out. Named Manny Dog. He told for real. Wonder why they ain't talking about this nigga right here. And he out running a mother nail salon or some shit. Let me play this shit. They on Bimmy line. They ain't got nothing on the Bimster, but this nigga here, he told everything.
What do you remember about the conversation? I remember him telling me that time was of the essence, that, well, he was trying to explain to me, which I later found out was, you know, it was a little different, is that these guys was also trying to kill Irv Gotti, was trying to actually rob him and extort him. Okay, who is Irv Gotti? He's a rapper, like he's in the music industry. Okay, at the time, did you know what Irv Gotti's business was in the music industry? Yeah, I knew who he was. Who was he? Just a producer. He ran a company. What was the company called? Murder Inc. And did that company have any famous artists that made the company well known? Gyro and Ashanti. And did you learn anything from Supreme about his relationship with Irv Gotti? Yeah, that they was good friends. What else did McGriff tell you then? He told me that he had other guys that was looking for the guys that he wanted me to kill too, so. And what was the context of him telling you that? Try to get us to do faster. Did you have a discussion at that point about whether you were going to be the one to kill the person or whether you needed additional people? Yeah, he said I needed more people, like 3 or 4 guys. Okay, did he tell you how many people it was did McGriff tell you how many people he wanted dead? Yes, 4. It was 4 guys. Did he share the names with you at that point? Yes. What were the names? Big Nose Troy, E Moneybags, a guy named Homicide, and another guy named Green. Okay, this was in 2001, correct? Yeah, around 2001. I'm not sure on the dates. Did you discuss a means of communicating between the two of you? Yeah, we used phones, but he gave me, I had a 2-way pager. He told me he would give me another one later. So did you use a 2-way pager to communicate with him at times? Yes. And you also use telephones? Yes. And did you discuss, well, what did you do after this meeting? How did you leave things with him? He actually wanted to show me a house that we was going to stay at. And by the way, did you discuss money at some point? Yes. What was the discussion about money? The contract was for $25,000. $25,000? Per person. Per shooter or per victim? Per victim. And you said that McGriff wanted to show you a house? Yeah, he took us to a house in Queens. Can you describe anything about the house? All I remember is the house was close to like a little pond. All right, I am going to show you what's been marked as Government's Exhibit 2002-A, 2002-C, and 2002-D for identification. And I will just show them all to you. Do you recognize 2002-A? Yeah, that's the house. Okay, this is the house that McGriff showed you? Yes. 2002-C, do you recognize that? It looks like the pond I was just describing. Okay, and 2002-D, do you know if that's near the house? Yeah, that's a little further on the left. On the right side, my right side of the house, it's the street, an avenue. Same street and avenue, just not right here, near the house? Yes. I'll move exhibits 2002-A, C, and D as in David into evidence. All right, no objection, they are in. What is it that McGriff wanted to show you about this house? Just where me and other guys would be staying. What do you mean by staying? Like when we came to Queens, because when we came, we didn't really know what the guys looked like. So when we came to Queens, we would probably stay in this house for a while and then go out and look for the guys and then come back to this house. I actually left the guys that I had brought out to Queens with me. They stayed there. I never stayed there. Okay, so this was a place where McGriff was offering you and your team to stay? Yes. While you were looking for these people, is that right? Yes. Okay, after that meeting, what did you do? We went to his house and we stayed there he just showed the house and then we all just left. And what did you do after that? Excuse me? What did you do after leaving the house? I went home. Okay, how about during the days that followed that? We came back and forth to Queens. I came back and forth to Queens and we were around and we looked for the guys. We had a guy named, let me just stop you there. Before you actually went out, did you hire people to do this with you? Yes. Okay, who did you hire? A guy named TJ, Barry Broughton, Smiley, and Les. All right, so we saw Exhibit 28. That's Barry Broughton. You saw 27, is that right? Smiley. Okay, and just for identification, I'll show you the last three, which are 31. Do you recognize who that is? Les. Okay, and 57. Do you recognize that person? TJ. Number 57, did you say? Yes, Your Honor. 31, 57, and 58? Who is 58? Show him 58. Who is that? Les. So, Les again? I'll cut that down to 57 and 31. I'll move both of those into evidence. Like when we came to Queens, because when we came, we didn't really know what the guys looked like. So when we came to Queens, we would probably stay in this house for a while and then go out and look for the guys and then come back to this house. I actually left the guys that I had brought to Queens with me. They stayed there. I never stayed there. Okay, so this was a place where McGriff was offering you and your team to stay? Yes. While you were looking for these people, is that right? Yes. Okay, after that meeting, what did you do? We went to his house and we stayed there he just showed the house and then we all left. And what did you do after that? Excuse me? What did you do after leaving the house? I went home. Okay, how about during the days that followed that? You actually went out. Did you hire people to do this with you? Yes. Okay, who did you hire? a guy named TJ, Barry Broughton, Smiley, and Les. All right, so we saw Exhibit 28. That's Barry Broughton. You saw 27, is that right? Smiley. And just for identification, I'll show you the last three, which are 31. Do you recognize who that is? Les. Okay, and 57. Do you recognize that person? TJ. Number 57, did you say? Yes, Your Honor. 31, 57, and 58? Who is 58? Show him 58. Who is that? Les. So, Les again? I'll cut that down to 57 and 31. I'll move both of those into evidence. This may be a good time to take our mid-morning break. We will return in 15 minutes, 10 to 12 o'clock. All right, let's continue with the questioning. Mr. Mosley, just one thing I'd just like to follow up with. In your 1987 arrest, when you were arrested for the guns in the back of the livery cab, do you recall that you were interviewed at that time for what's called a pre-sentence report in the state? In what year? In 1987. Oh, 1987. You said I was interviewed for probation? Before sentencing in that case by the state authorities? No. Okay. I'd like to just show you what I'll deem marked as 3500-EM-6. I'm going to show that just to the witness. Is it on your screen? It's not on mine. Mr. Mosley, is that on your screen? It didn't come up on mine. Yes. Okay, so I'm just going to point down here. During that interview, do you recall telling the authorities that you just pled guilty to get the case over with and that you didn't do it? Yeah, I didn't get caught with the firearms. Okay, but you actually knew that the guns were there, correct? There were two individuals in the car with me. I knew they had guns on them. I watched them put them under the seat of the cab. Okay, and so you legally possess those guns, correct? Yes. All right, so let's go back. I'm just going to show you for identification Government's Exhibit 30. Do you recognize that person? How about? Okay, I move Exhibit 30 into evidence. All right, no objection in evidence. And who is how about? That's the guy that used to drive us around Queens when we was looking for the guys. Okay, so this was someone who was affiliated with who? Supreme McGriff. And had you known him before you agreed to commit these murders for Supreme? No. And did this is the person that showed you around Queens when you were looking for the victims, is that right? Yes. Excuse me, what number is that again? Exhibit 30, Your Honor. Just 30. Okay, in evidence. So let me go back then to the people that you recruited to murder. Now, did you have an order for what victim was going to be killed? Big Nose Troy and E Moneybags. And did McGriff tell you why it was that those people had to be murdered first? Yeah, he told me that E Moneybags was trying to extort Irv Gotti and that Big Nose Troy was like partners with him. Okay, and for that job, you said that you recruited Tripp. Is that correct? Yes. And so, in evidence, Exhibit 28, that's Tripp, correct? Yes. Okay, and you said you had known Tripp going back even as far as Pennsylvania, right? Yes. All right, Government's Exhibit 27, which is in evidence. Alvin Smiley. And how did you happen to recruit him for this hit team? I recruited him through Les. And how was it that Les knew this person? From the Polo Grounds. We all live in the same neighborhood. Okay, and was there anything... Did he say Polo Grounds? Sorry, is that what you said? The Polo Grounds? Yeah, from the Polo Grounds. Was that near your neighborhood, the Polo Grounds? Yeah, about 6 blocks difference. And what, if anything, did you learn from Les about Alvin Smiley that made Alvin a candidate in your mind to do this? He told me that Alvin had shot somebody or shot at someone with a shotgun. And you read that you recruited someone named TJ? Yes. What caused you to TJ? That was through Les as well. That was his friend. Okay, and did you learn anything about TJ, or what was that? Why was it that you hired him? Les just told me that he would be down. Okay, and by be down, what do you mean by that? To roll with the hit team? So, just so the jury's clear, 57 in evidence is who? Okay. Okay, and 31 in evidence? Les. And by the way, 26, which I think is already in evidence, if not, that's me. Okay, so if it's not, I would just move it into evidence. Exhibit 26 is in evidence now. Was there anybody else that you hired for this? For this particular job? Yeah. eBay. All right, well, didn't you hire eBay to do Troy? Yeah, but that was later on. Initially, the guys that you just put on the screen, those are the guys that I hired initially. Okay, so there were 2 murders, right? Yes. The first one was E-Moneybags, correct? Yes. And the second one was Troy, correct? Yes. And you didn't hire eBay for the first one, right? No. He didn't participate in that, right? Not at all. All right. So once you had recruited these people, you said that you spent time looking for the victims. Is that right? Yes. Okay. How did you go about doing that? Well, first of all, how did you go about knowing who you were going to kill? Because how about knew all these guys, all the individuals involved, so he would be our eyes? Did you have a photograph of any of those people? Yeah, we had a blurry photograph of E-Moneybags. Okay, and can you describe, did you go to this house while you were looking for E-Moneybags? Yes. Can you describe what was in the house? We actually went to the basement. We never really explored the whole house. We went in the house and went straight down to the basement, which consisted of just lots of videotapes and TV and a couch. And that's where we had the guns at. That's where the guns that Supreme gave us to actually do the job was inside the house, in the basement. Can you describe how you knew the guns were there and what guns you and your team had access to? He gave us the guns. He gave me the guns, actually. Me and him talked about, firearms. I told him we would need him to provide them for us. So he took me there personally by myself first and gave me a bag. It was in a black duffel bag. Was this different from the day that Supreme first showed you the house? Yes. So you went out to Queens again and met with Supreme? Yes. What else do you remember about that meeting? That was the meeting when he kept explaining to me how many guys it was and, how fast he needed it done. Okay, how did he pass the guns to you? They was already in the basement, so when I went there, he just pulled out the bag and showed them to me. How many guns were in the bag, do you remember? It was a few guns, maybe about 8 to 10. Okay, do you remember anything about the guns? There was a bulletproof vest, one that was made of a t-shirt, and there was a couple of 9mm, AR-15, and just a bunch of handguns. Okay, for somebody who's not familiar with guns, what does an AR-15 look like? It's a machine gun. Can you explain what happened when you started looking for either E-Moneybags or Big Nose Troy? We would just ride around to various places. We'd even ride around at nighttime, go to different clubs. How about would be able to spot any of them? And what did you do at the end of the night looking for the victims? We returned back to the house and I'd go home and I'd leave the guys there. Did the people that you had hired, where did they stay at night? They stayed in the house. All right. And did you see Supreme McGriff during the... Yeah, I've seen him periodically. He was going back and forth of town. Now, when you would look for the victims, were you all in the same car, your whole team? Yeah, we had 2 different vehicles that we used that he provided for us. Can you explain that? What part? Just explain, did you have a pattern of who would ride in what car and how you would ride around? We didn't have a real pattern. It wasn't set up that way. Okay. We just periodically get in cars and just go. But how about would do a lot? He would do all the driving pretty much so he could show us around Queens. How about Supreme McGriff? Was he ever present when you were looking for the victims? Yes, on several different occasions, but it would just be me and him. Okay, can you explain that further? You and him would meet up? Yeah, me and him would meet up, separate from the guys. The guys never really met Supreme. I'd keep that separate. Was there a reason that caused you to keep them separate? Yes, I didn't really want them to know who we was doing the job for. Why is that? Because of the coming to jail and any of those guys end up sitting where I'm sitting. When you rode with Supreme to look around, was the team nearby or was it just the 2 of you looking, you and Supreme? They'd be nearby. Would they be in a separate car? Yeah, with how about? While you were looking, did you carry a firearm with you? Sometimes. How about Supreme? Did he have a firearm? Yes. How do you know? He showed it to me. All right. When you were in the car with your hit team, did they have guns with them? Yes. Where did they carry the guns? We had a stash inside the car on the side of the car. What do you mean by a spot? There was a panel in the door that would open up. If you dial up the radio and turn on the air conditioner, it would open up. So would that be something that you wouldn't see unless you knew it was there? Absolutely. Were you looking for the victims every single day? Not every day. How often do you recall doing that? Like 10 days out of a 14-day span? Well, if you were in the car with Supreme, how did you communicate, if at all, with the other people on the team? We had walkie-talkies. Did your crew successfully kill E-Moneybags? Yes. About how long do you remember looking for him, to the best of your recollection, before the team killed him? Maybe a few months, maybe a month and a half or so. Do you recall how you found him? Yes. Happened. How about had a girlfriend? I can't remember, but we being in contact with her, and E-Moneybags used to be around that area that she lived in. And she was looking out the window and she saw his car and he was driving a Jeep and she had a videotape and she was videotaping it. And at the same time videotaping, she was talking to Supreme on the phone. Was Supreme with you when E-Moneybags was murdered? Yes. Can you explain how it is that you traveled to the murder scene? First of all, where was the hit team when you found out where E-Moneybags was? In the house. The lake house? Yes, the lake house. And how did you get from the lake house to where the murder happened? The lady called Supreme was telling him that E-Moneybags was over there. So when she called him, he told me about it and I told him to get ready. You were already with Supreme? Yes, I was with him already. You received a phone call. The lady you mean How About's girlfriend? Yes. What happened then? We all got in different, separate cars. Me and him, we got in a different car. I walkie-talkied them and they got in a different car. How about rode by a motorcycle? He rode by to make sure this was them over there. How about rode by who on a motorcycle? E-Moneybags. You were in the car with whom? Supreme. And the shooters were together in another car? Yes. How about put his motorcycle up and got in the car with them? So how about went to see where E-Moneybags was and came back to the house? Yeah. And then drove the shooters to the scene? Yes. What happened when you got there? They got out of the car. Let me ask you, did you see this happen or were you in a different... I was in a different, like a block over. Okay. In some area where they had a lot of trees. And what happened when you were on that block? I could just hear the gunshots. What did you see after hearing the gunshots? I seen Barry Broughton running. Where was he running? He was running close to us by the trees and he wanted to get in the car with me and I told him nah. I got on the walkie-talkie and I called the guys that was driving the other car and how about picked him up. I didn't watch him pick him up. I know he picked him up because we all met up again. What happened after the other people picked up Barry Broughton? They were going back to the house and dropped off the guns. Did you meet with the team after that? Meaning the hit team after this? Yes. And did anybody tell you what happened? Yes, they told me that TJ didn't fire any shots. And did they tell you anything else about the murder? Yes. What's that? They told me that that there was a bunch of guys standing around the car and that they took off running when they started firing on E-Moneybags that he actually had a gun. So did anybody other than Barry Broughton shoot at E-Moneybags according to the hit team? Yes, everybody, but I found out later that Les actually didn't fire any shots either. Okay, did you do anything to confirm that E-Moneybags had in fact been killed? No, I really didn't do anything in particular. Did you find out? Were you concerned that maybe he hadn't? Maybe that actually hadn't happened? No. Why not? I don't know. I didn't think... I could hear the shots. I found out later on that he was... Supreme told me. Did you see Supreme after E-Money was killed? Yes, he was in the car with me. But after that day, did you see him? Yes, I met him to get paid. Where? Do you remember where he paid you for that first? I was downtown somewhere. I think it was like 23rd in Manhattan. And what happened when you met him to get paid? He was with a girl outside of a restaurant. He came outside. I stood outside. He came outside to talk to me. He had a brown bag with him, and we just talked about it for a little while. What was in the brown bag? Money. In what form? $25,000. Cash? Yes. What did you do with that money? I took it, called the guys up, and paid them. How much did you pay the guys? I gave Les $4,500. I was supposed to give him $5,000, but I gave him $4,500. I gave Barry Broughton $4,500. I gave TJ $3,000 because he didn't fire any shots, and I gave Alvin $4,500. You kept your $5,000? Yes, I kept the rest. Plus the extra that you had withheld from the members of the team, is that right? Yes. After you killed E-Moneybags, who did you intend to kill next? Troy, Big Nose Troy.
Yo. So my question is this. It's the question I got. Now this dude right here that we hearing the paperwork on. This is the reason why Supreme is in prison right now. What y'all just heard. So this dude right here Gotta understand, Manny Dog, he's still on the street running the mother nail salon. But ain't nobody saying nothing about Manny Dog. Nobody saying nothing about old Manny Dog. But everybody screaming Bimmy name, and Bimmy name ain't in no work. I'm just trying to figure it out. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Why ain't nobody saying nothing about Manny Dog? Cause they know he ain't gonna put a team together to kill some niggas. You might tell. But the nigga know how to put the team together, right?
Man.
Yo. That nigga gave it all up.
In the block.
Ran and told it on the mountain. Over the hills and everywhere. No, that was a woman narrating the paperwork. That was a lady. She used to be on Crown TV or whatever. Remember, she used to be over there in New York Eastern District and shit back in the day. That's what she used to do, was narrate my work. But I'm just tripping. They screaming Bimmy name and his name ain't in no work. But Manny Dog, shit. He told everything. He on the street. They ain't saying nothing, no Manny Dog. They ain't said a word to Manny Dog. Ain't nobody saying nothing to Manny Dog. I don't know. Maybe old Wack need to wake it up. That's what probably need to happen. Correction. I want to make sure I'm right. Supreme is in jail for the hit of E-Money bags, right?
Right.
Where our New Yorkers go. Is that why he in jail? And Big Nose Troy, shit, he the one got him out the way too? This nigga Manny Dog. Yeah, we need to go. Baby, I think I might need to do a room on Manny Dog. People need to know. They want to give Bimmy all the credit. Bimmy ain't killed nothing, ain't told on nothing. But old Manny Dog done put this in, knocked some niggas down, shortchanged some niggas, told one nigga, give y'all 5,000. The shooters, he shortchanged them niggas 10%, take 500. And the other nigga said, cause you didn't fire a shot, you only getting 3,000. So that's 4, 8, 12, and 3, 15, right? With 5, 5, 5, that's 16,5. So he put the rest in his pocket because the total was 25,000. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So he made 8,500 while he sat around the corner and listened to it. They paid this nigga 8,500 to tell. Now the question is that Manny Dog fault? Or should Supreme been smart enough to know what's what? Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills, and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain. Cause the mud freaks ain't gonna care. That's my dog. Doggy Dog. Manny Dog. Niggas screaming. These niggas screaming Bimmy. And this nigga Manny Dog that did a whole deed. Nah, we ain't letting that go on all that. Who told on Supreme? Eyeballs. Bimmy or Manny Dog?
You debunked that Bimmy stuff a while back, right?
Yeah, but they came with some more shit. You didn't hear what Supreme said? You didn't hear it?
No, I didn't hear that.
Oh, let you hear what Supreme said. This is what Supreme had to say.
He goes away on contingency charges.
he had been arrested and prosecuted based on a search of a premises that he was in. These were dirty cops who were working with a dirty, blind CI. Sergeant Foster and Myron Cherry both lied under oath. Just tried to arrest me. James, Bimmy, Andy got to the CI for over 40 years. Bimmy is the CI they described in this search warrant affidavit and lied that two people were kidnapped and beaten in their death. It was a lie. When they did the search, no evidence of a kidnapping existed. This is what informants do. They lie. And the police and prosecutors don't care. They just want to win no matter what. So, there's a document out called the Supreme Truth, and I'm gonna drop it in the chat. But this is now. I don't know if you caught. I just did a whole thing with Bimmy a couple days ago, and this was the breakdown. This raid happened in '85. Bimmy say he's in the house with Supreme. He go to jail with Supreme. He's a minor. He lies about his age. Supreme catch the 10 years. They let Bimmy and everybody else go. He on probation a year or two, whatever it is. But from 85 to 91, 92, him and the nigga Just Black ran the Supreme Team organization. The same paperwork we're talking about today, you had in 5. Supreme gets out 91, 92. Bimmy starts doing his own thing and does Supreme. He catch a dope case 3 to life. He the years he gets out in 95. Supreme went back for a violation, got out. So 95, they're all out together. Bimmy ain't doing no Supreme Team business. He get a job at Def Jam with LL Cool J, 97. Supreme doing this little movie thing. He started with Irv Gotti now. 2000, Supreme get bumped for what I just played right now. The murder of E Moneybags that Manny Dog took the stand on. Gave the details on. He been in there 25 years. So what I'm saying is, why today are you saying Bimmy is a rat when you never said this way back then and you had the very same documents that you have today? And for you to know and not to say nothing, but yet allow him to run the organization, so I said, Bimmy, are you supposed to do things out? He said he wanted me to send him money and this, that. But I wasn't with him dealing with nothing. I got tired of getting the calls, need 5,000 for this, 2,000 for this, 1,000 for this. I was just disassociated. So I think they seeing Bimmy riding around in Rolls Royces. He been on TV a couple times. His nephews, Waka Flocka, they like, we're going to destroy him. But the popularity vote does not supersede documentation. You saying something that don't make sense because the documentation that doesn't include Bimmy's name. It's what I just put up is a person named Manny Dog who's actually on the streets, who told to get Supreme the time he got now, but ain't nobody saying his name. But we do see that Manny Dog will go put together a team to get a nigga out the way. He might tell, and he might take 10%, and he might dock you for not firing the pistol. It get your ass out the way. So, Bimmy also chose a side too. Okay, Kenneth, what did you mean?
All right, so like in an interview when he was interviewing with Queen Split, there were certain things that Bimmy wasn't with. So like, for instance, like Bimmy was cool with 50. You know what I'm saying? He was also cool with E Moneybags and all that. I think there was a story that they had deleted where he said that somebody came in the office and was like, you know, that was whoever, a actor or something. But I guess Bimmy was explaining that there was like certain shows.
I don't think he chose a side. I just think he stayed neutral.
Yeah, that's my thing too. Like he said like he got out the drug game
Well, he
too.
already said he stopped with them in 91, 92, called his own case in 93 or 92 and was done 95. So he said, but the case he caught had nothing to do with Supreme dope. So I guess he laid down the Supreme flag, as they would say out that way, right?
I would agree.
I know a mother do when they mad that you went your own way and you win it. But I'm just tripping on why they ain't said nothing to Manny Dog. He out. Manny Dog on the street. We got a phone call with Supreme mentioned and Manny Dog. Dale, where the shit at, Dale?
Where that, Dale?
Dale, what's going on, bro?
Family.
Just selective politicking or what's going on?
East Coast bias on this one. Let me see what I can find.
Huh? Ah, see, that's what I'm saying, bro.
You gotta come with the answer, Dale.
Come on, Dale.
I ain't gonna lie, Wack. I never heard of that either. Even on like certain documentaries.
You talking about the content I just played?
Yeah, I was shocked at that one too.
Oh, that's real paperwork. I bet you they heard. I'm gonna tell you who did hear of it. I bet you Supreme heard of it. It's in his shit.
I thought he got caught on videotapes.
No, when they see, dude just told the story of how the hit happened. Supreme hired him to do the hit, told him bring more dudes, told him 25,000, gave him the house, the guns, the walkie-talkies, boom, 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 bam. Now, somebody videotaped the hit, and if I ain't mistaken, when they raided the spot, they found the videotapes. Now I gotta move towards something I said on 607 Up. Niggas is following and glorifying niggas who wasn't that smart, but they had the popularity vote and a lot of stories being told and enhanced over the course of time. A lot of stories being told and enhanced to make people think they bigger than what they are. Me personally, if they said here goes 3 people and one of the people it said he hired some to do a hit and they videotaped it and kept the videotape of the hit, and that's how he got caught. And then you got another over here, they said this was a dweeb in school. He didn't really have no girlfriend. He later on went to graduate, but he didn't even do what he graduated for. He started a company that's now doing $150 million a year. Then you got another dude that said this nigga right here beat up every nigga on the block, but he pushing the basket down the street at 53. Which one do you want to lock in with? Most people are going to say with the videotape because they don't want to push the basket. But I'm going to look at the nigga with the videotape like, you ain't too smart. That's incriminating. I'm going to go this dweeb, you know what I'm saying, and see what he got going on. And then over the years, people start glorifying what it is. You got right now that's 30 years old, glorified Supreme Team. They was 5 years old when this man went to jail because of stories.
Wasn't even alive in his heyday in the 80s.
That's a fact. So I don't, you know. Shit, how old is the little Supreme dude? I bet he ain't no older than 30.
Yeah, right. little
If
under
that.
30. Right. Because Preem would have had him when he was out for that little while.
Yeah. But he glorified. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, bro. We seen this shit on. Hold on, bro. Let me see something. This shit better not come back. If this show. Hold on, bro. Let me see something. Oh, goddamn. I'm done. Dale, this nigga was copycatting Menace to Society. I was hoping Menace to Society came out after he got arrested. Remember the nigga kept the tape? Oh, now you don't remember, Dale.
Yeah, man said yeah.
God damn. So now this is why y'all saying it's our fault.
I'm gonna be the next Stevenson Gall and shit.
Bro, listen. And let me tell you what else is cold, Dale. God damn. Guess what year Menace to Society came out, Dale?
I'm guessing. That was a guess.
1993. Guess what else happened in New York in 1993, Dale?
Yeah, you went out a little bit. What was the second question?
What else happened in New York in 1993?
Hold on. There was a few things. Hold on.
The creation of the blood. God damn, this all our fault.
Clubhouse TV. Clubhouse TV. Clubhouse TV.
Yo, what up, YouTube? It's Clubhouse TV. We back in the building once again. And as y'all heard, man, this one right here, this one's gonna shake the room and the whole internet. And Wack just dropped a bomb, and I don't think the internet is even ready for this one. But first off, I want to thank y'all for checking back in and checking out the content, man. I certainly appreciate y'all. But Wack straight up said Manny Dog is the one who told on Supreme, not Bimmy. And you definitely heard that right. Wack said he seen the paperwork and y'all actually heard the female reading it. And he know what's in it, and Bimmy's name ain't there. But somehow, every time the conversation comes up, Bimmy's the one getting dragged. Now, Wack, of course, didn't hold back. He said, y'all keep saying Bimmy this, Bimmy that. But where Manny Dog's name at in y'all's conversation? He's challenging the streets, the bloggers, the so-called insiders, all of them. Wack says people got selective outrage. They'll call out one man, but stay quiet. They'll stay quiet when the real name shows up in the paperwork. And that's the crazy part. He's not just defending Bimmy, he's exposing the hypocrisy. Because if Manny Dog's name is the one that actually printed on the paperwork, then why the silence? Like he said, is it because y'all know that he'll put together a team and come unalive y'all? Why is everyone acting like they don't see it? Wack's basically saying if y'all don't stand on the truth, then stand on it across the board, not just when it's convenient. Clubhouse TV been telling y'all, every time Wack speak on paperwork, he's bringing the receipts. He don't just talk, he pulls the files. He names the names, and he breaks it all down with the help of the exposers. And this time, he's asking the real question. Why Bimmy's reputation gotta take the hit if he not even in the documents? Why is nobody questioning the real snitch that's named on the work? That's the kind of double standard that Wack's calling out. You already know how the internet move. Some people gonna say Wack just stirring the pot, but let's keep it real. If the paperwork say what he say, that changes everything. That flips the whole story we've been hearing for years. Wack said clear as day, stop making up names, go look at the work. That's a challenge to everybody who ever claimed they knew the truth. So here's what I'm asking y'all. Is Wack right for clearing Bimmy's name and exposing Manny Dog? Or is the industry too scared to call out the real paperwork names? Y'all drop y'all thoughts below in the comments, because we watching them. We watching the comments on this one. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Turn that notification bell on so you're always notified when I drop new content, because this one definitely ain't over. Subscribe to the media team so you get that exclusive Wack 100 content. Any questions, comments, suggestions, need me to advertise for you on my channel with over 45,000 subscribers, just get at me on IG and I'll get right back to you. It's Clubhouse TV, y'all, where we bring you the truth they scared to talk about. And we certainly appreciate y'all for checking out the content at Clubhouse TV. And you already know, I'm off to the next one. Peace.